All right, well, welcome to the January 2022 meeting of IPMS Canada. Happy New Year and hope the holidays were at least partially peaceful. I'm going to turn my share screen on here. Let's just do that. And then we go share. All right, you should see the logo.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Okay, so all the normal stuff. Yeah, biggest thing is the difference, the 1 year build. We'll do the draw for that as well. On the tables, any other discussion, all that good stuff. So we're going to start off first with any club news. Not really much else. Obviously, Omnicrom's been playing havoc with everyone. So no word yet on Fanshawe. The last time I checked with Francis, he's going to let me know, but their best guess is April. And that could be the same from the library as well. Again, we're just really restricted. So until then, we won't be charging membership for the new year until we're actually physically meeting again. There's not a lot of expenses, pardon me, other than fixing the frog in my throat. I think I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned it at the build night of the last meeting, but basically our expenses are mostly right now just the website hosting, the fee for that, you know, the domain name, and then our Zoom bill every month. We're paying an annual rate, so we get a bit of a discount. It's normally $20 a month, but we get it for $100 a year. Those are our main fees. There's also the membership for IPMS Canada for yours truly. So that's about it. So again, not a ton of expenses right now. We're still in a very good shape financially. But again, once we start meeting again, and looks like we're going to be physically meeting, we'll get the executive together, we'll review some stuff. Other than that, from talking to Jerry and that, again, we're still hoping to do a show in the fall. We just haven't determined it yet. I've got to get an executive meeting arranged with the executive and the show committee just to start looking at ideas. Our biggest problem is where we normally have the show, it's still an assessment center, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future. So we're probably going to have to move that again. We were looking at Fanshawe for that as well, but that's about what's happening from that. If you have, and I need to get a report off to IPMS Canada, if you've changed your address, your mailing address, etc., can you please send an email in to IPMS exec or IPMS London exec at gmail.com. You all should have got an email. As well, if you joined IPMS Canada this year, can you let us know? We really like to know what those numbers are like. I know we've increased it since the pandemic, which is awesome. Again, you've heard both myself, Carrie, and other people talking about the benefits. You know, simply a great group. The RT and the Beaver Tails are awesome. They're worth the price of admission right there. And then, of course, you get some funky decal sheets. So you can't go wrong. Not to mention you join in a very illustrious club, or infamous, depending on the day of the week, how we want to put it. So exactly. All right. Jeff, is there anything else from your side?
No, I was just wondering if anybody's heard anything, any change in Heritage Con. I mean, as far as I know, there's no change, but
No
obviously
change.
it's an open question right now.
Yeah, they're kind of waiting too on pins and needles.
Yeah.
We did agree to sponsor 2 categories last year. I've confirmed we're still going to sponsor the same ones. We're just waiting to hear back once they're a little bit closer, because we always sponsor some categories there. And I'm sure the call, again, if it's a go, the call for judges, volunteers will be going out. So, you know, they are kind of our sister club, so it's heavily encouraged if you can to judge. Now, the other important thing about Heritage Con, that's a good point. I'm glad Jeff mentioned that to remind me. If you're going to put models into the show this year, you have to register in advance. They really want to know all the details. So I know we put a share out onto our Facebook page, or you can go to the IPMS Hamilton or the Heritage Con site, and you can get the form there. They've got a really funky web form. I know Blappy already put some stuff in. I guess there was a maximum of 5, Dave?
Yeah, so it's a maximum of 5 entries, or it says 8 square feet of table space. So if you're putting in that, 124 scale B-52 bomber, That's probably the only thing you can put in the contest, right?
All right.
So I entered 5 kits. You don't have to pay right away. I'm not sure, but I suspect you pay at the door when you get there the day of the show. So, you know, I filled out the forms. I got my PDF files sent to me. I can print them out when I'm ready. And so I figure there's nothing to lose by entering. If you have kits you want to put in by getting entry forms and being in there, if something happens and you can't show up, well, I guess you can't show up, unfortunately. Or if the show gets canceled, you haven't lost any money, right? So
Right.
I'm just playing it safe. I took, you know, just picked 5 things I've built over the last couple of years and registered them.
Well, I think it's really important. So let's see, 8 foot, that would fit a pair of Felixstows. I'm just saying.
Well, it would.
You know, actually, isn't there 3 now in our little happy group? I think I saw someone else said they picked up one. But anyway, yeah, do get those in. If you do need help, we'll look at giving people a hand, but it looks like fairly straightforward. We are hoping to have the Heritage Con, some of them guys from the show on the podcast for the next broadcast, which will be in a couple of weeks. So I'll make sure I ask that question as well about payment, but it makes sense. So, all righty. Any other questions about club news or any questions about the club before we move on? No, I like a silent audience. Okay, let's move on.
I got a.
Yep.
Stuart, I got one. Can you send me the address for the one you joined? The one with the, oh, what the hell is it?
IPMS Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Okay.
send you that.
Send me an email with the address and that.
We'll send you a link to their website because it's easier to sign up on the website, frankly.
Yeah, we'll just put a link in the chat. Someone can do that. So, okay. So we're going to start with the 1-year builds. So for people who don't know, this was started many moons ago. And basically the idea was just to try and get something done. So basically in the January meeting, we basically would, anyone, you can pick any kit, any build, as long as it's not started. Simple as complex as you wanted. The idea was to get it done by the following January. Then we did a random draw. There's no judging. And the winner wins the, I don't even know what the name of the memorial plaque is. I always forget. Dave, do you have a memorial plaque there? You can show the fans.
Yeah, it's the oh my God, I can't remember his name.
I know, we
either.
always forget it. Isn't that terrible? Isn't
And
it terrible?
So much for Memorial.
I know. I'm getting old.
Isn't it
Anyway,
done Boost
any-
Memorial?
Yeah, we basically engrave your name on it. So we still have to do last year's winner, and we'll do this year's as well. And it's basically a random, it's all in good fun. Like I said, so, well, Dave's looking for that. Hopefully he hasn't gotten lost.
Where the hell did I put it?
Where'd you put it, Dave? You had it out before.
Yeah, I know. I had it in the same spot for like literally years, and then I got it out, so I remember to bring it to you.
All right, no worries.
And then
Looks like a plaque.
The Goodwill bag.
Yeah, you better get the Goodwill bag.
carry on. I will find
Yeah,
it.
all right. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll carry on. So in some cases, people sent me a picture of the 1-year build. If not, then we will cover what people's builds are at the end of this. So, all right, let me share my screen here. Okay, you guys seeing that?
Yeah.
Okay. First up was George. George, you go ahead. You're on deck and tell us all about your 1-year build. Beautiful looking B29.
Wow.
Nice.
That is nice.
That's cool.
Oops, hang on. Is he muted? I gotta find him here.
What scale is that?
No, George, you gotta unmute yourself, dude.
And Dave, I just sent you the link to IPMS Canada by email.
Okay, I pressed a button. Can you hear me?
Okay, yep. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thanks.
This is 172 Academy kit B29. So this was my 1-year build. I wanted to do this one because I keep trying to do, a little better on metal finishes. So, what's more metal than a B29, right? So I think for a few meetings ago, I mentioned that I'd invested in a photo etch kit to add to the cockpit and the wheel wells and engines too. And I had to put so much weight in the front end, about 47 pounds of lead in the front end to keep it from being a tail sitter. And then while working on it, I dropped it. Oh, the whole plane went to the ground at 100 miles an hour because of the weight. It split the fuselage. It knocked out half my PE, and I couldn't get in to fix it because the canopy was already cemented on, and I thought I'd crack it open trying to get in there. So if anybody notices things missing inside the cockpit, that's why. I also wanted to work with resin. I've never worked with resin aftermarket stuff. So the engines are resin aftermarket, as are the superchargers and the exhaust piping, which is exposed on one of the engines with the panels off. So that was kind of new to work with that and have to carve out sections of the engine to put this stuff inside of it. After I was all done, I did L-clad paints in a number of different hues and mixtures. I mixed up my own stuff. That's my current build. I also had worked on an airfield. Oh, there's the inside before I dropped it.
Yeah, I know I had them here somewhere. I just had to look
Yeah.
for it. I got a
So that's
few.
the inside, the photo etch stuff on the cockpit, that the levers and dials and it was really neat. I mean, too bad you can't see shit from once it's all put together, but it
Looks
looked
good,
pretty
though.
cool before it went in.
Well-
Once I got together, I had some 172 Airfix vehicles from a bomber set. And I thought, well, that'd look kind of cool with the plane. So because the plane is depicted in Tinian in the Marianas in 44, I did some research, found out all the runways were crushed white coral. So that's why the hard stand is done in white. They paved them later, but when they initially built the airport quickly so they could fly missions from Japan instead of China, they just went with the crushed coral, but it raised too much dust and they ended up asphalting it. I thought the white showed off the airplane kind of nice, so I left it white. You can see Bad Medicine. My wife is a registered nurse, so I thought it fitting that I put a nurse side of the airplane. So this is Bad Medicine. I also like the red cowlings that were part of the kit. I also wanted to show the engine with panels off, so I scratch built that stand holding the prop, and I also scratch built the scaffolding just out of scrap sprue and rod and panels, some old wheels from another plane, and just built based on some photographs I saw from Tinian. And that was nice. That was the build. The base is just a wooden base with some, trim wood and cardboard and just sand and gravel from the street that I glued down and painted to try to represent the crush course.
Very nice.
Ooh.
And
Beautiful.
Wow.
absolutely gorgeous. And then you picked yours for next year.
Yeah, I picked up Academy's Catalina. There's the picture of it there. I picked that up a little while ago and thinking, that would make an interesting build. And then I found out about aviology, which I'm sure most of you guys know about, but I had never heard of it. It's a Canadian company that does decals and seems to focus 100% on Canadian subjects. So they had a complete decal set with history and very detailed conversion information that I ordered. So I'm going to take the Academy kit and do a conversion to a Canzo A in 44, flying out of Scotland. I think I'm going to do the one that was flown by Flight Lieutenant David Harnell. He was lost in a mission against sinking a U-boat and was awarded the Victoria Cross. The Hamilton Air Museum, they fly this. They did a recreation of Enzo, and that's the unit that they fly out of Hamilton. So this will be my 2021.
Very nice.
Nice.
Or 2022, sorry.
2022, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, this is your 1-year build. You gotta unmute yourself, Mr. Durrett. There you go.
Yeah, it's a C-47J8 that they used on D-Day in one of the D-Days,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't get the kit that had all the parachuters, the jumpers, so I just built C-47-8. It was fun building, and some of the like the ladder there. You ever try putting all the seat belts in that thing?
I'm not that crazy.
I never realized. I thought in World War II they didn't have seat belts on the seats, but they had seat belts in the same color as what the stairs is for every person that went on that plane,
Oh, man. Looks good, though.
and that was fun.
Looks fabulous. Okay. Do you have any ideas what you're going to build for 2022 yet?
Yeah, I got a picture. I just received it in the mail.
Oh, hang on a sec. Let me turn off sharing and then I'll spotlight you. And we'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Oh,
Can you see it?
You got to go back a bit. Just move it
Very
back from
nice.
the camera.
Oh,
There you go. The
Sea
sea
view.
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 Yeah.
The sea view.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
there's the bottom of the sea. All right.
Cool.
It's just in this box, but it's actually over 3 feet long,
God.
almost like one of my destroyers I get on the wall. That's
I'll
my
keep
year, 1-year build.
All right.
I
Awesome.
haven't started it yet, so.
No, well, like I
Like I
said,
said,
yep, as of today.
I've
Okay.
seen
Yeah.
a few of those built at Wonderfest. They're a very nice kit when they're all built up.
Yeah, they are.
well, this one's got a rocket coming out of the back end of it
Oh,
that
beauty.
launches.
All right, let me turn on the screen sharing again. And we do that. All right. So let's see here. Okay, Mr. Webb.
Oh, this is just a recap of, because I showed this
You did.
back in April.
Yep.
So it's the Revell Curtis Craft Midget Racer. First car I've done in 40 some odd years. I had a blast with it. I learned a lot on it. So I tried using some of the clear or semi-clear metallic finishes on the chrome to give it some bluing. First time I've ever tried doing a candy paint job on a car, which was, again, a blast. It took me 2 or 3 tries, but I got one down that I was pretty happy with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something certainly I'm going to revisit. And I'll probably actually pick this car up again and see if I can do a better job of it and a more detailed engine and that sort of thing. Now that I'm sort of building my confidence level up a little bit, at least on this type of kit. I sort of sunk myself on another one, which you'll see later on, but it was a blast. I'd recommend the kit. It goes together fairly well. There wasn't a whole lot I had to do to fight with it. The only down or complaint I had is some of the, especially the chrome pieces, were so fine that they were so easy to break. So there are a couple of chrome pieces that didn't make it onto this kit, but looking at pictures of the actual car, they didn't make it onto the car a whole lot of the time, or they were taking it. So, yeah. So that was my 1-year build. I just figured I'd throw something in there that I hadn't done for so long, just to see what I could do.
Awesome. All right. Do you have any ideas what you're going to build next for 2020?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm kicking around a couple of ideas. Just again, I'm going to try and do something that I haven't attempted before. So
Right.
I'm going to push my boundaries, and I've got a couple of them here that I'm sitting. I just haven't decided which one yet. I'll let
Okay.
you know when I know.
Yeah, please. Okay. This is,
I say it looks good. Who's that looks really great. Whose kit is it? Like
It's a Revell.
it's Revell. Okay,
Yeah, the Revell.
that's really neat.
yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be made into a 48. I think it's a Ford pickup truck. So
Yeah,
that
they're
the
cool
trailer
looking.
will actually fit to it. It came with all the trailer hitch that'll go onto it too. So
Wow.
Very cool. Okay, next up is a recap for me. This is the Hasegawa. This is the 1/72nd scale Mosquito fighter bomber version I did for Coastal Command. I did this really like probably March. Went together fairly well. My only real complaint was the decaling, especially the red squares on either side between the fuselage and the engines. Even with a healthy amount of decal set and little pins to push out the air, I still had some bubbles. Other than that, nice little kit, goes together well. This is actually one of the first times I've done a Mosquito and Coastal Command markings. I've done 3 or 4 over the years with camouflage, but I have to admit I enjoyed this. This was a nice build-up. So yeah, that was basically mine in 1/72nd scale. And I'm going to do another 1/72nd. Going to do, let me turn off the sharing for a second because I didn't get time to do a picture. Spotlight myself. Going to do the Eurofighter, the Airfix 1/72nd. Comes with 4 different countries here, but you know, surprise, surprise, I'm going to do a what if Canadian one on it. So yeah, no one should be surprised about that.
Well, the Eurofighter is used by the Canadian Air Force.
Well, is it?
Yeah, they use them for training up at Cold Lake. They played the bad guys.
I did not know that they use them for aggressors. Well, how about that for a surprise?
It's not an official aircraft of the Air Force, but that's what they use for the bad guys.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not know that. I'm going to have to do some research then for some schemes. Thank you. All right.
I'll see if I can get my son to scoop a couple of pictures of them in the air.
That would be awesome if you could. That would be awesome. Okay.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, sir. All right. So that was mine. Let's move on here. Okay. That's all I had from people pictures. Now, did anyone who sent me pictures late, did anyone have a completed one?
Yes, I did. I
Uh,
actually
Rob?
sent mine in the email. I said which one it was.
You did? Hang on. Again, it was so nuts. Maybe I included it with the other stuff. Rob, bear with me.
Oh yeah, probably because I also sent a bunch of on the table pics.
You probably did. Sorry. If you did, let me just have a look here. 22 January meeting. Where are you? I don't see you here. Hang on.
Did it send?
Oh, you hit send. Hang on. Project. No, I don't see one from you, man.
No,
Well, there's
it didn't send
project
then.
pic- there's project
Yeah, but that's
pictures.
from
That's from
October.
October.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is also just basically an update. I took updated pictures of my 1-year build.
Okay. But is it done, Rob?
Oh yeah, it's done.
Okay.
It was done actually early in the year because I didn't
That's
expect.
right. You did. Okay. I'm just keeping track because then I'm going to draw names.
Yeah.
I want a name out of the hat. So that's okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if you want, resend it now and I can always put it with the on the table stuff.
Yeah, it
All
was
right.
the RX-72X Perfect Grade Unleashed from Bandai.
Right. Okay. Good. Okay. Anyone else? Speak up or forever hold your peace.
Are you looking for 1-year builds?
That were complete. Did you get yours done, Dave?
No, mine's still in the box in the shelf. I can see it from here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. You moving that on to 2022, are you?
I think I will actually do that. Yes, I think
Okay.
the second scale special hobby will become my 2022 build. So
All right.
I really do want to build it, but I went through a couple of modeling slumps while being super busy at work and
That's
just
okay.
had no energy in the evening.
You know what? It happens. And the good thing is some of the people that didn't get it done, I know they completed other kits. So, you know, that was kind of the idea originally. People weren't getting kits done at all.
Yeah, I finished
I know.
several kits. I just
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
finish
And I
my
know
1-year
you've
build.
done some. I know other people have as well. So we look forward to seeing that. So is it, Jeff, do you know of anyone else or is it just the 5 then?
Well, at this point, there are a number of people who named themselves as having put themselves in for year builds last
but I
year,
haven't heard.
but only these 5 have presented today. So
All right, so what we'll do then is, what I'm gonna do then, gentlemen, I'm gonna stop the share. So I've got 1 through 5, so I did it in the order that it was presented here. So George, Dave, Bill, myself, and Rob. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna fire up the web browser. We're gonna go to our good friends at random.org.
Well, I found the award plaque. It is the Walter P. Warren Memorial Challenge Award.
Walter, okay, just keep that for a minute and we'll
Well, if you hadn't found it, it would have been the David Gertin Memorial Award.
You know, we'd have to kill you.
We'd have to kill you.
All right.
Right, they
So,
never find the body.
Well, that's why you're here, Bill.
okay, so you guys should all be able to go ahead.
Who won in 2020?
What, you expect
know-
us just to know that off the top of our head?
Damn right.
I don't remember.
Who is it again? I don't remember. I wonder why it's at your house though.
It was
I think-
me. I
'Cause
won it. My name got drawn last year. It's George.
Oh,
George?
yeah.
Okay.
So we got to put George's name on this one. We might be winning again. So those of you who can see my screen, you'll see I put random.org. I've got 1 through 5. I'm going to click the button once, and that'll determine our highly selective winner. So internal drum rolls, please. And
Do we know which number is? Who?
Yeah.
Ah,
it's actually, no, it's actually me. I was the 4th. Because what had happened was I had written down as the order they appeared. See,
yes,
I
yes,
wrote
you
that.
did.
I wrote that
Rigged.
down. So there you go.
Anyway, I resent one of the emails I sent to you because I actually sent 2.
All right, let me have a look, Rob. Let me see what I can find here.
So did you say you're 2021 then, Stuart?
I'm the 2021 winner, yes. All right. So in other pick cases where people are asking, let me go back here. Okay, this is Ed's. You guys still seeing my screen?
Yep.
Okay, this is Ed's. Ed, do you want to tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, that's going to be for 2022 because like the shirt I'm wearing tonight, it's Toronto Maple Leafs. They start something, but they can't finish it. So that's my theme shirt for the night. But
Attaboy.
next year I'm going to do this guy here. I've got the line roar set for it and some frill track. So nothing too crazy. It should be fairly straightforward. And yeah, that's going to be a captured KV2 that the Germans were going to deploy to the invasion of Malta, which never happened.
Huh.
And they ended up back to the Russian front. So that's the plan.
Back to the Russian front. You'll get
Right.
shot and sent back to the Russian front. Okay. Haven't got yours in yet, Rob. Let me just, that's for Dave. Hang on, everything else I had in the subfolder here.
You want to double check your spam folder just in case?
Are you sending me spam again?
Oh,
spam,
do you
Yeah,
mind?
spam.
look, there it is.
Spam and spam.
It's all this porn he's been sending. Yes, that's where it was. That's where it was. Let's find it
Spam,
here.
sausage, spam, 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 egg, spam, spam, spam.
Zig, zig, spam and
So
spam.
that is so that's part 2 of all the pictures.
Jesus.
I think that's just everything just from the table stuff.
All right.
'Cause-
Well, we may as well just start you off at the table then. Well, you know what? We'll come to this in a second. Let me just finish up the 1-year builds. for
yeah,
now.
finish up the 1-year build stuff. We'll come
Yep.
back to that
All
because
right,
there's
let
2
me come
emails there
back.
that you're gonna have to find the second one.
Yeah. So, Mr. Hyland, Jeff.
Yeah, this is my little. I figured I'm not going to be ambitious like the rest of you guys. I'm just going to build a dinky little 1/72 scale what if tank with a V1 launch on it. Looks like
Does it
like
have any
fun.
photo etch for you to suffer through?
It does. It has a little bit of photo etch, so that's the penance I pay for the tiny kit.
Now you better get it done or those words will come back to haunt you. I'm just saying.
I started working on it when just today, so I'm working on it right now.
It's all right.
And I want to have it done at the same time as I get this damn Graf Zeppelin thing finished.
Oh dear. All right.
You could do a diorama.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
it'll be a forced perspective diorama. That's
All
it.
right.
Exactly.
Well,
Anything
we
else?
could print you off some 1/72 scale windows, Jeff, to make a little ruined building to go next to it.
Perfect. Thanks, Ron. That'd be great.
Okay. Did anyone else send me pictures of 1-year builds I've missed?
I didn't send you anything, but
Hey, what do you got in mind, Johnny? What are you gonna do?
Spitfire.
Spitfire, excellent.
Attaboy. All
You
right.
see Jeff doing armor and I'm doing plan.
I know
Yeah,
the
there,
world's
see?
gone mad. It's gone mad, I say.
The
It's
world's
gone mad.
insane.
It's
Everybody's
insane.
going crazy.
All right, let's go on the tables and then we'll do the ones that the later submissions after. So, Mr. George, you're on deck again, sir.
Oh, okay. I just thought I'd show some shots of what I'm working on right now. This is a B-24J bomber. It's a mini craft kit. It's a bit of a Frankenstein. They call it a J, but it's not really. But it's got like hardly any interior at all. So with COVID and a little extra time on my hands, I thought I'd spend a little extra effort adding stuff to the inside. So that's the front end. The bomb bay and the fuselage has nothing in it. So everything in white is basically strip sprue and blocks of sprue and panels and some brass wiring, some stretched sprue. Just trying to add some interest into the bomb bay and the fuselage, because you can see in through those gunners' windows, and I want it to be just all blank inside. So I spent a lot of time just doing that. Then it got painted, so that's what it turned out to be inside. I added the feed lines from the guns, the little boxes I made to hang on the wall there, which photos showed. That's where the ammunition was stored. The feed line is the lead. On the top of a wine bottle, there's the lead metal foil. I just cut that into thin strips and scored it a bit to make it just look a little like a gun rack. The tanks on the side are from another kit, the oxygen tanks. And again, I took some more of that metal foil and just wrapped it around to look like brackets holding it to the wall. And then used some wood finish to finish the tables and the wooden panels there on the sidewall. The next shot is what the cockpit looked like. I had a photo etch set for the cockpit. So you can see the instrument panel there from an Edwards set, along with the levers. And other than the seats, everything else I've added: the table, the chair, the box where the instruments are sitting between the pilots. That's all my stuff. The bulkhead just behind the seats, that's all been added by scrap plastic. You can't see the top turret too well, but it was just basically a gun. So I added some panels and some wiring and just stuff to make it interesting, because you can see so much through the clear plastic.
Wow.
And I think the last shot is the finished one side of the bomb bay, where you can see where all the panels are now painted up, just to add some more visual interest to the bomb bay.
Very nice. Again, I'm just getting cross-eyed I'm looking at that, and imagining it's 1/72nd scale. You got better eyes than me.
It is kind of teeny, yeah. And hey, I take offense at that comment about that you're going to build dinky 172, Stu. Who said that? Who said that?
That was me, but you look at how small some of these levers would be. I finally got an eyeglass appointment, so I'm hoping that will help, because I got 1/72.
You're going to need a magnifying lens thing like I do too. I can't see.
Exactly. All right, awesome. Thanks, George.
Thank
you. All right. Jeff, our word for the night is
pain in the ass. How's that?
Pain in the ass, Zeppelin.
Several words. This is the Graf Zeppelin kit that I picked up at Brookdale for $6, and yeah, it's worth every penny. I'll tell you, it's just it's actually, if you're going to get a Graf Zeppelin, you might as well make it out of paper, because the thing is huge. That's a B-52 in 1/72nd scale. Just gives you a sense of how big, in 1/200 scale. It's the same scale as the Zeppelin. So that gives you a sense how big these monsters were. It's going to be over 4 feet long when it's finished. But doing the bulkheads, and I'm doing them all with foam core board and reinforcements, it's just a real challenge, and I'm not happy with a lot of the dimpling, although I looked at some period pictures of this thing and it was pretty darn dimpled, so maybe it's not so bad. I figured tomorrow I'm going to get some Krylon flat clear, and I'm going to spray the whole thing to seal it, and then I'm going to try and clean things up a little bit with some spray with the airbrush and some different silver panels and things. See if I can make it look a little bit better. but it's coming along anyway. It's freaking huge.
Well, I
It's-
think, and you can always do a science experiment for the grandchildren afterwards.
Yeah,
Take it outside, find some hydrogen. You know,
Oh,
you do
Dave's
a
already
bill-
volunteered. Dave's already said they got a tank of hydrogen at
great.
at his workplace. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, just make sure you video that. We want proof.
yeah.
Tell me when you're gonna do it. I'll come over.
Yeah, we'll do the cool. Yeah. See.
Oh, the humanity. Anyway,
Should we do a
I-
Hindenburg? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
we'll
we'll do.
hang up. We'll hang up from one of the cranes in the shop and light her up.
well, I did this that the Graf Zeppelin is almost a mirror image of the Hindenburg, and
Yeah.
it's got million miles on it. It flew around the world for years and years and years. Had never had an accident, and it was decommissioned to basically shut down from service the week after the Hindenburg crash or the Hindenburg disaster, because obviously no one was going to fly on the thing again. So anyway, never mind.
It's what happens when people ignore when the smoking lamp is lit.
Yeah, this is about as far outside of my comfort zone as I've ever been. So it's quite a
Well,
challenge.
I have to admit, you know, we've been having a running joke on Zeppelins on the podcast, and when you went to pick up the Caspian Sea Monster, I was surprised and not surprised when you picked this up, because I had seen
Yeah.
it for Rockdale's.
They fascinate me. They're just such crazy big beasts.
Yep.
And I got a 1/200 Saturn V to build, so this will dwarf that.
Interesting. That'll be fun putting them all together.
Yeah.
All righty, here we go. So, Mr. Webb.
All right, first up is a 1/16 Mini Craft Model A. I grabbed it because I used to have this car.
I didn't think you were that old. I didn't think you were that old, buddy.
That's what I learned to drive on.
Holy shit.
What?
So
You have to watch out for dinosaurs.
yeah, pretty much. So I was happy with the kit and not happy with the kit. Parts of it were absolutely great, and other parts of it were just freaking awful. Plastic was soft. The frame was twisted. Things didn't fit. There wasn't a whole lot of positive fit on a lot of it. Whereas other parts of it, like the engine and that, were really nicely little detailed things. And I was kind of happy with it. It's really the first kit I've done any kind of scratch building on. So did some scratch building in the engine. It's the first kit I've ever taken a blowtorch to unwarp without melting it. So all in all, I'm relatively happy with the way it turned out, but
And this
I
is
wish it was better.
this is before they had the Marconi wireless as an option, eh?
Yeah.
Did you paint it the color of the car you had?
As close as I could get remembering, is showing up in the pictures brighter than it actually is sitting on the shelf. But it was the blue with the black and the sort of cream colored wheels. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
I
Well,
thought
you know
it was
what?
black and white back in those days.
Yeah, well, yeah, I should have done that. Black and white. I like, well, the chrome worked well. Like we can see you taking the picture there. You can see your phone case over on the left side there with the chrome.
Yeah, because I ended up using for parts of it, the chrome, I sprayed it with the Molotov.
Yeah, it looks good.
So, and other parts of it, like the radiator, I sprayed with the Molotov as well, but I ended up handling it so much that it dulled back down.
Right, right.
I need to get some sort of clear on it that won't screw it up.
Mm.
So it's going to have to take a little experimenting. From what I understand, if you're using the Molotov to spray chrome, you need a water-based clear. Otherwise, it just turns into aluminum looking. So we're going to have to give it a shot and see what we can do with that.
Yeah, looks
Maybe
good.
put a
Because it
pledge,
shoots really nice.
Go ahead, Ron.
maybe pledge would work for that.
It may. One of these days, I'm going to get a crap load of spoons out and spray some and just play with it and see what it does.
Right.
Johnny's already done all of that.
I love this.
And it's because I know that so many of you love eggplanes so much.
Oh my God.
But I did this one just because I'd never sprayed the metals before. So it was my paint mule. And I might as well have a paint mule that I'm going to do something with, and it's also the first time I'd ever tried painting a pilot. So
There he is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
so it was again my experiment and trying to expand what I can do or have ever done before. It was just, and for me, the things are just fun. They're just stupid fun.
Yep.
For $8, hell yes.
Hell yeah.
I'll buy more. And then my Kinetic CF 188, 148 scale. I'm not real pleased with this one. And every mistake on it was mine, not Kinetic's. Although I did find the kit was a little bit over-engineered, where they're having you stick on tiny, stupid little parts that really should have been part of the whatever it was, the wing, the fuselage. The interior in it, I didn't get a good picture of that. According to a CF 188 pilot, I did a decent job with, considering it was all hand painted. But I broke parts off. I screwed up the paint. I got too much paint on it to do the panel lines. Yeah.
Looks good to me though still.
It was, this was the first kit I basically started this year, having only done the two other kits before. So this was well above my skill level. I really shouldn't have tried to do this as a first kit, but with my son being in the Air Force, that's what I went for.
Yeah, I love the weathering on the fuel tanks.
So I'm gonna pick up another one and try again.
Very
The
good.
kit was fun to put together. I'll admit that, but my fit and finish, yeah, it's great from 5 feet away.
That's what I
There's
subscribe to.
There's recently been a whole bunch of pictures posted on the Canadian Military Aircraft Facebook group. I don't know if you're a member of that, Bill.
No, I'm not.
You should look for it and try to join it because it's a really good resource and the guys are pretty good. But the pictures, he put up some really high quality pictures of these things in flight, the Hornets,
Yep.
and they're filthy.
Yeah, no, this one was the original kit that I got had the decals for the 20 years of service.
Right.
And after sort of messing things up enough and breaking parts off and that, I figured I'll save the decals because they are really nice decals. And I did decals from something back even further. So the decals are the decals. The maple leaf I hand painted from the photograph.
Oh, wow.
So I still got the decals. I just use them as a template for the mask. So I might use them on something else.
Yeah.
I got
Well,
a couple of what ifs in the back of my head. So
my point about them being a mess, I mean, the in-service planes have a lot of weathering on them. And so if you want, you could go at this and practice your weathering skills because what the hell, why not, right?
oh, that's true at this point in time. And it's funny because when I've been up in Cold Lake, watching them fly, the ones up there are pretty clean. But the guys that are in service, yeah, they're just filthy.
Wow, it's amazing. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's what it is, but
The guys up there, they have nothing else to do but fly and clean.
fly
Yeah.
and clean. Yeah.
Alrighty. Johnny, I got your two pictures here of your work in progress, sir.
Yeah, this is the Aoshima Lamborghini Aventador. Also, it's my first ever cockpit. I'm building this for one of my friend, and he wants all the interior black, matte black, and all the exterior matte purple, and the wheels in
Alright.
gold. Yeah, because the insurance says there are actually a lot of like satin black and then like all kinds of other colors, like also body colors in the interior, but nope. This makes my job easier actually, and I don't think it looks bad. I like matte black as well. Yeah.
Looks great.
Looks good. Looks good, Johnny.
The bit of the kit is pretty good, but some parts, the injection pin, like the push pin is a little bit unhappy to deal with. For example, the engine, you cannot see it now. It's under that black cover, but those 8 cylinders, or no, it's actually 12. Yeah, the top of it is not flat. All kinds of dimples. Like you have to fill them with putties and then send them flat. Other than that, it's pretty good.
Looks good. Good man. All right, so that's the slideshow. Now let me go back here. I'm just going to go from the top, which is the most recent, but that's fine. So we'll start with Carrie, his P47.
Sent at 7
Yes.
p.m. 7
All right,
p.m.
he acknowledged and he said he apologized, so that's fine.
I'm quite proud of that.
I tell you, Carrie, I tell you, it's a tough crowd, Carrie. I don't think I even got a sorry. I'm submitting mine on late, when Jeff sent me his.
I didn't send it late.
I know, but I'm going to make it up anyway. All right, Carrie, go ahead. You got 3 here.
All right, so this is the Tamiya 148 P47d Razorback that I finished when I should have been working on my 1-year build, but I just had a real hankering to do a P47, so I built it. So this is the aircraft that Robert Johnson, one of the higher scoring American aces of World War II, flew. This was actually his 3rd of 4 aircraft that he flew. All of them were Razorbacks. The Tamiya kit is an amazing kit to build. Anybody who wants to build a P47, I would highly recommend it. What's unusual about that photograph is it's got the 3 fuel tanks. Typically, they would only carry the 1, which is on the center line. But I was really happy with my weathering on the 2 auxiliary wing tanks, so I added them. It's over, olive drab with the gray undersides. It's just a really nice kit to build, really enjoyable. I'm glad I built it, and this is one of the few aircraft that Robert Johnson, I don't think he named his first one, but his second aircraft was called Lucky, and it was with the middle finger. Hi, how are you? And then apparently he called this one Double Lucky, but it never had any nose art. But the reason I chose to do this is it had both the fighter group marking, which is the red around the nose, and the red tail, which was the squadron color. And it also had his kills up to this point underneath the canopy or the cockpit, but it didn't have any nose art. So quite happy with it. The only things that I had problems with was some of the decals. I had a real problem with some of the smaller decals with silvering. I worked away at it, and I was successful with some, eliminating the silvering, others not so much. But I was pretty happy with it. And when I should have been working on my 1-year build, which is a Phantom FG1, I'm decaling it now. I was building this thing, but I'm glad I did. I had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, didn't you say this was your palette cleanser?
Yeah, so I finished the F4B for the Phantom build.
Sorry, did you say
And then-
F4B? Wasn't that for the year build, Carrie? Wasn't that the one for the year build?
No.
Oh man, I'm giving you an opening here.
Fortunately, our IPMS Canada representative is a little bit more honest than our secretary.
Yeah, well, his fault.
Well,
Problem.
I appreciate the out, Jeff, but I think it's recorded somewhere that I said it was for the Phantom build. So
yeah.
Hey, I'm the secretary.
Great. Oh dear. No, nice job. Looks really nice.
Thank you.
All right, let me go back here. All right, we got Jeff's already.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilson. I'm gonna have to scroll on these ones.
Hello there. This is just, I posted this on the IPMS website, on our website, just I thought I should show a couple of pictures. That just a Phantom for the Phantom group that I finished. A really dirty, old, weathered RF-4B of the Marines that I actually saw at the London International Air Show and took a lot of pictures of. So I tried to replicate it, but it was a hard time scrounging all the right decals. But it was fun to do, and it's done.
Okay, and then we have.
The next on the table is an old Hasegawa F100D in the Southeast Asia camouflage scheme, and it's progressing along nicely. I've just finished all the camouflage, and then just have to clean up a few things and then clear coat it and decal it, and it's coming along nicely.
Yeah.
I have 2 more F100s to do. I think an F100 is one of my favorite aircraft for some reason.
And these painting triangles are so useful. I have a set too.
Oh yeah, that really, really helpful.
Yeah.
So this is actually part of my shelf of doom. It's just cleaning up my shelf of doom. This is a relatively recent one from it. This now is probably the oldest thing from my shelf of doom. It's an Airfix Canberra E6 or something like that. I think I got this kit from Kerry probably 30 years ago, but I wanted to convert it to a T Mark 17 training aircraft. And so I've got a resin nose that I grafted on there. I think it was an Airwaves resin piece that I grafted on, and it's fine. It's gonna make it to the finish line.
Looks good.
What's the color scheme on that, Tim?
Well, the later ones will be hemp, but I think I'm gonna do this in the gray and green camouflage scheme.
Nice.
And then this is another very old kit. I think I painted this at least 20, 25 years ago, and I think it's about time I finish it. So I'm just finishing off the bare metal foil on it, and I'll just get it together. And I'm just trying to get things that have been started, just trying to get them finished.
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that's what you had there. Yeah, no, that looks really nice. All right, thank you. Let's go back here. Oh yeah, and then we have from Ron here a couple of pictures from the Saga of Two Towers.
Oh,
He sent just a few, 9. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, finally I got some paint on this thing so it doesn't look like bricks made from cotton candy stuck on there. So that's just a couple of basic shades of gray that I put on, and then painted the individual bricks around the timber frame. So if you go to the next, yeah. So it's starting to look like a castle.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned it at the build night, but how many tiles in the end?
1,600.
Right.
And there's like almost 2,000 bricks.
There's individual tiles and individual bricks?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we saw pictures as he was working on it. He was showing us like the little containers full of them. Yeah, just gorgeous. I love how you did the crosses there, the windows, the way the carving worked. That worked really well.
That was a bit of a challenge to do, but what I did, I made a little cross out of basically popsicle sticks, you know, to use like as a sort of a jig.
Right.
And I foam cut on the hot wire cutter, cut out the cross, and then was able to like score it and assemble it all together. And in looking at pictures of the real thing, I guess the stone workers would, you know, do their most delicate work on these pieces that had to have, like on the back side of that they're tapered inward. so that the arrow, the bowman can turn whatever angle he wants.
Yep.
Right. So they used to do some pretty precise work. But
Yeah.
then on the ends, like where it joins up with the brickwork, they just kind of cut them off randomly.
Right.
And so now I've put the mortar on the bricks there. And what I've done with the bricks is I went in and painted them a couple of different shades, like of black and browns, you know, just on a few selected individual ones. And then applied the mortar and then started doing some washes and stuff on there. If you go to the next picture, it'll probably show a bit better, you know.
Ron, when you say you apply the mortar, what was that made of? What is that?
Yeah, I used that, remember at the meeting that we had at the library that time, and I did that demo on the bricks?
Yeah.
But it's baking soda.
Oh, right.
Yeah, baking soda that you put on dry and let it like fall in between the cracks and then brush off the excess from the top. And then I use like matte Mod Podge.
Yep.
Mixed with a little tiny bit of gray paint to, and then you just like kind of dab the Mod Podge on there, and it soaks into the baking soda and just becomes, well, it comes like solid as a rock.
Yeah.
And
Same sort of thing as when you're doing grass or something like that, where you sprinkle it down.
Yeah, you use like a fixative. Yeah, that's a better shot there. Yeah.
There, yeah. Just
And what I also did was, before I did the mortar, I took a small plastic container and cut part of the lid out and put in a piece of fine mesh screen from a tea strainer, and then fill that up with a mixture of the baking soda and some tile grout, some gray tile grout. And I just wet the surface of the bricks with the Mod Podge, and then sprinkled this stuff over the top to give like it makes it look like granite or worn stone, you know, where there's like a grain, you know, there's a grittiness to it.
Yeah, that one shows it better, I think. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Just stunning.
Great job.
I still have to do the mortar on the top part of that where the decorative stones are.
Right. Very nice. That's the last one. Very nice work.
Oh, and I wanted to mention also, I posted on Facebook about like I was getting a new LCD screen for my printer.
Mm-hmm.
And what an improvement that has made with the amount of time that it takes. Like say, for example, the windows that were used in that castle with the old LCD screen in the printer, it took 3 hours and 54 minutes to print. But with the mono LCD screen is 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Huh.
So 2 hours of time. Like it prints each layer now at 1.2 seconds per layer, as opposed to like between 5 and 7 seconds for the regular screen in the printer. And also the print quality is improved even more. It's absolutely amazing. And the reason I bought that was that the LCD screen in the printer finally gave up the ghost. And so I had to replace it. So the mono screen was only like $10 more than the replacement screen. So I went with that, and I'm really happy that I did, because it really cut down the print times for everything.
Before too long, you just have to think about it. It'll already be printed. It will be so fast.
Yeah.
All right, fabulous work, my friend. Okay, Robert, got your emails. So we'll start with this one.
All right. So this was my 1 year build.
Okay.
The Perfect Grade Unleash RX-78 2. There we go. Now I can say it. Yeah. So I just took 2 repictures of it. So this was one taken last night, and this is it with a lot of the vents and stuff that are open in it. Just to show all the extra kind of details on the inside and how it kind of goes from there.
Very cool.
Yeah. This is my first vehicle, the Tri-Chaser 2000. it is still part of the like Kamen Rider figures. It's actually the bike for Kamen Rider Kuga, a kit I did earlier.
Okay.
So there's some build pictures of that. That's just one of them. Yep,
Oh, hang
and
on,
this
here,
is
here's
the
the build.
yeah.
Here, I found them. They weren't in order.
Yeah.
That's okay. So there's
Yeah,
one.
no.
And then
Yeah, so
there's
there were some in progress pictures of it as I was building it along.
okay, and then we
I
go to-
realized at some point I missed some stickering for some stuff and had to go in and paint it. It was great. And then this is the Get a Robo Arc. They just finished the series there. Yeah, and that was the double tomahawk axe that I ended up finishing there on that.
You don't have
There's
to
also
watch
some more
picking,
pictures of that.
you don't have to watch picking this up. You could either stab yourself or cut yourself.
Yes, it actually warns you of all the sharp pieces.
Does it really? I was kidding,
Yes.
but wow. Okay, well,
No, because every Get a Robo I have ever touched has usually had some sort of super sharp piece to it.
if you don't draw blood, it doesn't count, right?
Yeah, basically that. There should be some extra pictures on there.
Yeah, I'm just finding the other stuff here. Come on.
Oh no, I meant in that email. There should be a couple of extra pictures.
Oh yeah, one more here. That was an in progress one.
Yeah, so that was another in progress one there.
Right, hang on, I don't have any more on this one. I had 7 on that one. Let me go
Yeah,
back.
and then the next one had all the other ones.
Yeah, that's all right, man.
Yeah.
Looks like there's 2 here. Hang
Nope,
on.
that's the same one.
Yeah, no, it's further up. It's the way it does it here. I just got to tell it to go more. Come on, load the rest, please.
No, that's the same email that you just opened.
Yeah, but it looks like there's a one further up 12 minutes ago and one for, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so where did I put the other one?
You
right
wanna
there,
look
right
at part
right.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
This one might. Yeah, there we go.
Come on. I hate the way Outlook, or not Outlook. There they are.
There they are.
All right, let's try these ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is from the Digimon line of figurized kits, Gallonmon.
Mhm.
Generally not too much for its own self, just kind of different angles, pictures. The big gimmick for him is his shield and lance. The shield actually has like a little flare out gimmick, which one of the pictures does show a little bit later. There's also that cape. That cape is, it feel like the cape comes off of a sticker sheet, but it's actually a very thick plastic, but it feels very brittle when you're trying to fold it and push it together.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I picked up another kit that has that same cape option. Yeah. And this is more of the Getter Arc in a different pose.
Yeah, I definitely can draw blood.
Oh, as I said, I have drawn blood from not even a model kit, just one of the toys for this.
Yeah. Okay, you see about, does this body have a cloaking device?
No, this is before I built the body. I just had all the limbs done.
I know, I had to.
There's also an alternate mouth on there.
Right.
And
Ooh.
this is Kamen Rider Forze.
Interesting.
There's definitely want to look at some of the other pictures because that's just him doing his kit. That's the trying to chess piece as I was doing it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Back finish.
Yeah,
Should have been a more front-facing picture for him.
hang on, let me see. Not that I see here. No, I got them all. You'll have to follow them.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Shoulda-
Though.
Oh yeah, no, he was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, basically he comes with a drill leg and a rocket arm attachment that you can swap out for different parts.
Handy for getting the garden done.
Yeah, generally his whole gimmick is 1, he's in a spacesuit,
Uh-huh.
and 2, each of his limbs can do different things.
Cool.
They're also all geared after the PlayStation controls.
Oh,
Circle. You can see the X on the one leg here,
Right.
but you can't really see it on there. The triangle.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. This is why, you know, Bandai and Gundams are still one of the most popular genres in the world.
Yep. Pretty wild.
Very cool, my friend. Okay, Harold. Harold, look at this. Harold sneaking in. You gonna complain about him, Jeff?
No, I would never do that.
All right.
Oh, I only brought to the third one there, but whatever. That's just my 1 year build for the future, but because I started it right now.
There's the bag proving it. See,
Nice.
he's got all his cement ready. He's got his beer up there on the top, his Ultra Michelob.
You betcha.
There you go. Can't you
guess-
find it? Can't you find a decent beer from back home
I was gonna
or
say.
Norway?
These are no, I don't like Norwegian beer anymore. I'm sorry, but I don't.
You're
They're too
drinking that
strong.
bloody
They-
American crap. God. That's what
I
they
got
do.
It was a hoity-toity beer.
Yeah, hoity-toity. I don't know about being hoity-toity beer. You know why? It's like the similarities between making love in a canoe and American beer. Both fucking close to water.
Oh, that's not true.
Put 'em
Used to-
Urine
love
is
my-
very far from water.
I know. Used to be. Used to be. All right. Did I get everyone? I got Ed. I got Jeff. Yeah, I think I got everyone here. All right. All right. That's good. All right. I'll turn off the share.
I'm the guy who always forgets to send you his pictures, Stuart.
David. All
I know,
right.
I'm that boy. But
Okay.
I'll share on my screen and
Yeah,
show
go
it.
ahead. It should be on now for you.
All right, so this is the Ming Gt40 kit. So when I built the modern Ford GT kit for 20, I guess it was for 2020 that I built that. I really wanted to build, the classic GT40 to go with it. And the only kit at the time was a Fujimi kit, so I picked one up, and then I was going to start it, and then this one got announced. So I thought I would wait and see how this kit comes along. So that's the one I bought. It's a fairly nice kit. The fit and everything was really good. My only complaint on this kit was the fact that the pan lines for the doors are almost non-existent here, you can see.
Yeah.
Right, which is really disappointing. So I used, I've got some weird vinyl Japanese scribing tapes and stuff you can put into curves and everything. So I used some of that and I re-scribed the door panel lines. Was a little bit fiddly, but they came out not too bad. So this is partway through the process. I think they got a little bit cleaner after this. So that was my only real complaint about the kit was probably that. It was my biggest complaint anyways. Got the body prepped, did some painting. I used the Zero paints, Ken Miles Blue. These paints, I've used them before on a couple other projects, and it's really nice paint. It gives you like a satin or a flat finish like this. You have to put a clear coat on, but they come pre-thin for the airbrush and they spray like a dream. So I put like 4 coats of paint on here, and it's so thin and so fine. It doesn't obscure any detail at all. So it's a very nice paint. And then I was gonna do, once I had the paint on and I had some gloss on there, I was gonna do the decals for the red areas around the headlights. They give you decals on the kit, but I went and watched a few guys on YouTube apply those decals, and like the guy's video to apply one of them was 45 minutes long. And I thought to myself, there's no bloody way I want to take that much time to try and put a decal on. I figure I could probably mask it. So it took me about 25 minutes to mask off these 2 areas. And the way I did it so they'd be symmetrical is this left one here with the fuel filler. You guys can see my cursor, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. So where the fuel filler is, you look at the reference photos and you can see where that point comes pretty close to the edge of the fuel filler there. So I used that as a reference and I laid out the first one and got the shape good. And then I put this piece of tape, which actually, if you look straight down on the model, this goes straight right across here. So, and then I put this on a flat surface and I use a little angle that I have, a little square, to measure in from the square to that point. So I did the same thing over here to find my point that I wanted for that. And I put a tiny, teeny, tiny invisible little mark there that only I could see. And that's where I got the curves on the tape. And then it took a little bit of trying to get these curves to match and look symmetrical. But like I said, maybe 20, 25 minutes, and I had this all laid out, and then I filled in all the areas, right, with Tamiya masking tape to end up with this. And then I looked at reference photos, and I got 2 different decal sets, the ones that come in this kit and the ones I got from a company called IndyCals. And they're 2 different shades. One's a more orange red, one's a brighter red. If I looked at reference photos, it looked very bright red. So it's hard to tell. So I just used, to me, a bright red, this color here, the lacquer, to do the red on there. So, and just sprayed it. I did a couple really light coats first, and then a couple a little bit heavier coats to get it glossy, right, and not get bleed under the masking tape. Sitting next to it here is this little toothpick, And I tend to, you know, I don't know if you guys do it or not, but I always sculpt toothpicks into tools. So this same toothpick's been in my tool repertoire for years, floating around the bench, right, with this little chisel on the end, and I keep resharpening the point on it and stuff. So I continuously burnish this down. The last thing I do before I spray is I go along and I always burnish all my masking seams to make sure I don't get any bleed through.
Hey, Dave, I got a little tip for doing masking, especially with auto stuff. If you, before you spray your color, after you finish your masking, spray a thin coat of clear. And then that will seal the edges of the masking.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've read about it. I get worried. I may try it at some point, Ron, because I get worried that I'm going to get too much of a ridge between the base color and then the sprayed color.
Yeah,
but maybe it's not as much of a concern as I may think it is. So I'm going to try that one of these days.
You don't have to put very much on to seal the edges. Just you know, 1 or 2 very light coats of clear.
Okay. All right. I'll have to try it one of these days, Ron, because I'm aware of that. I've just never ever done it because for some reason it just seems like scary to me. I don't know why, but anyways.
Yeah, no, it works quite well.
Yeah.
I've tried that, Dave, and it works really well.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to give it a shot then, because it'll remove maybe it'll remove a level of stress from my life when I'm painting a model, right? So that's always a good thing. After I got the red sprayed on here, I'll come back with like a 6,000 grit sanding sponge, and I'll wait a day or two, and then I'll try to clean up this ridge here so there's less of a ridge. And I just do that by taking the sanding sponge and just swiping in the right along the panel line in the direction of the panel line, so I don't have any chance of getting red on the blue or blue into the red or anything, right? And it just gets rid of you can just feel that little bit of a ridge kind of go away, which is really nice. And then there's the engine there. While the paint was curing, I got the engine assembled. I didn't bother. I was going to do some discoloration on the pipes and stuff, but by the time the car is all done and buttoned up, you can't see any of this detail. So I didn't spend the time on it. There's the seat there. The seat has these little, very distinct little chrome rings, these metal rings that were on the seats of these cars. So they give it to your recess. So I did a wash of, this was all painted with lacquer. So I did a wash with enamels on here. I think it was Model Master Chrome Silver. I just did like a pin wash on every one of these. And if it got to be a little bit messy, I came back with a tiny little bit of like mineral spirits on a Q-tip and just cleaned all the excess up. So it came out kind of clean. The seat belts are included in the kit, as are the photo etch buckles. They give you this really thin fabric with a self-adhesive back, but man, that self-adhesive back is so sticky. If you even got it close to itself, it stuck to itself, which was a complete nightmare. So there was a lot of colorful language while I was trying to put these seatbelts on here. But I managed to finally get them on with a lot of pulling and unsticking things from themselves and that. But so it turned out not too bad. First time I've ever done photo etched seatbelts like that, so, and harnesses. So that was all right. And there's the finished result there. So after the decals went on, it got I think it was 6 coats of the Tamiya LP9 clear, and then I just left it sit for 5 or 6 days. Then I'll come back with got the God hand sanding sponges. So any spots that looked a little, there's bits of fuzz or something on the paint or a little blemish, I would use like a 4,000 grit sponge and just carefully clean that off. And then most of it was a 6,000 grit sponge. I did it with wet sanding, and then I used the Tamiya polishing compounds that come in the tubes. They've got a coarse, a fine, and a finish, and they've also got a model wax. So the 3 main body pieces were separate when I did all the polishing, and then I put the windows in after, and did the final assembly and put all the the light covers and all that stuff on there. They include masks for the windows that are pre-cut window masks, so they're pretty nice. The real trick to those is, again, they were fairly sticky. The tape, it was stickier than like Tamiya tape, and so you had to really try and get it lined up the first time, because as soon as it touched that plastic, it was really stuck. So it was nice they gave those to you, but it was pretty tricky to get on there. But I managed to do it not too bad. So, and the thing about it was, when I peeled that off, it actually left sticky stuff behind. So if anybody plans to build one of these, be aware that the window mask actually left some little bits of sticky crud in the window I had to clean off. which I thought was a little surprising and kind of annoying.
Would you be able to use the mask as a template to do it on Tamiya tape?
You probably could, like if you took the mask and stuck it on tape, you could do that because the mask actually has a window outline on it, but the die cut line is inside of the actual black line.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just like copy it, right? You'd have to actually take, I think, the window mask and put it on one of those sheets of Tamiya tape.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I was
You
thinking.
get the full sheet, right, and then trace around it. But I mean, it was a little bit tedious, but it wasn't too bad. I used the Vallejo washes, the acrylic washes on here, because this whole thing's done in Tamiya lacquers after it was polished and everything. I did a little quick wash on the panel lines, and the acrylic washes tend to want to actually beat up and repel from the lacquer finish. So it just goes in the cracks and it gives you a pretty nice effect. It looks pretty good, makes them kind of pop, right? So yeah, there's a bunch of shots here of this car. These are decals on the wheels. They also give you like there's little blue pinstripes on the wheels. I tried to apply those. They didn't fit for shit. So I ended up pulling them off after trying to apply a couple of them. And I just got, annoyed with it, and I figured I'm not going to bother. So I just took them off and tossed them.
Beautiful.
Very well. Nice job, Dave.
So it turned out all right. So
Do you have the comparison shot between the old one and the new one?
I do, yeah. Also, the door latches. This is just Model Master Chrome Silver for that, and then these hood latches, front and back. That's bare metal foil I use for those. And then the wheels come. They're just gray plastic, so you can prime and paint them yourself, which is nice. So I find that the chrome that comes on most models is too much. So I was able to just paint those myself, so they turned out a bit nicer. Here's the back end. They give you this grill as a piece of photo etch as well. So it looks really nice. It really makes the detail pop. I used Tamiya clear red on the taillights in there. Before I applied them, I painted those.
Let me guess, this is going to Heritage Con.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is, one of those super iconic race cars, right? So
There it is.
So here it is 50 years later. There's the Ford GT that ran in Le Mans. This was a 2017. This was the year they won first place. It wasn't car number 66 that won first place. It was a different car number, but I wanted to build number 66. I like the green and stuff. So it gives you a comparison between the two cars. So I was really excited to have these two done and be able to photograph them side by side like this, right? So, towards the end of building a kit, and you start to lose steam sometimes, having something to motivate you to get it done helps. So I was excited to be able to do this and get her done. So
nicely done. You'll have to send me some pics.
I will. I'll send you these. Yeah. So there's the top view there. It shows you how much bigger the new cars are than the old cars.
Wow.
Which is pretty impressive, right?
It's the obesity epidemic. There it is.
Yeah,
right
there we are. And on the topic of 72nd scale aircraft and photo etch, I've started building a Dora wings. They've got this Savio Marchetti flying boat. It's this old twin-hulled flying boat that was painted red. So they give you this little tiny piece of styrene here, and you have to glue these little throttle things on there. So this is mounted to my 1, 2, 3 block, so I could actually work on it. So on these tiny little pieces. So this is about 35 or 40 minutes of me cursing and swearing, trying to get these little things. You had to bend a few of these before you put them on. So I finally got them all installed, and they're lined up not bad. So This is one of my first, believe it or not, this is my first real foray into doing any level of photo etch detailing like this, other than just sticking the odd piece on here and there. So this is going to be an adventure because there's a bunch more of this stuff on that kit. So that should be interesting.
Well, I think you're getting the smile of approval from George. So if he's smiling, then
What did you use as glue for the PE?
So they have it looks like a wrench opening almost that sticks onto that piece of styrene. So when I kind of was able to get them all on there kind of loose, and one fell off once in a while until I got them all to stick in place. I just took a tiny little bead of the thick gel super glue, and I just put it along the top of those little things, and it kind of wicked all in there. And then I had a micro brush with a little bit of accelerator on there, and I just touched it to harden it up, and it worked not bad.
Great.
And then I was able to sort of shove those around and bend them, so they all kind of lined up and look kind of proper. They're going to be tiny. They're going to be buried in the cockpit with an opening that's going to be like 5 millimeters by 9 millimeters. You won't even be able to probably see them, but there they are.
Right. Very cool.
I can see George laughing his ass off there. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. He's liking that.
I'll try not to drop mine though, George.
We'll just assume they aren't there and tell everybody, no, he's lying.
Yeah.
So look, see, we don't even need to engrave the trophy now. Look, it's all official.
Oh, it is.
How's that?
Hang on, let me spotlight it. There you go.
Beautiful.
Who said that wasn't a classy award, huh?
No
Hey,
kidding.
look at that. We spare no expense.
There you go.
We spare all expense.
Well, we will once we get people together. Dave's going to get that to me, and I'll make arrangements to get it engraved. So that's fine. All right. Well, gentlemen, does anyone else have any other exciting commentary, biting news?
I mean, I guess I could announce what I'm doing for my 2022 build.
You could, yes. What have you got?
I guess
I
the
would.
God Gundam.
No, I'm going to do the Ecto 1.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
I have an Ecto 1 kit I've had sitting around. I just never got around to it because it would be the first kit I had to do as a car. Also have to do a bunch of painting and stuff. I'm just thinking I'm finally going to get around to it.
Nice. Nice. Well, you know, that's
Unfortunately, I realized I had to do one thing. Find what I did with it.
it's somewhere in the shelf of doom or the stash of disappearance.
It might be in storage, but I'm going to my storage place over the weekend. So yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I know what I have, guys. So some of you may have seen on Facebook, the last 2 years, I've participated in a thing called the 24-hour build.
Oh, yeah.
And usually it corresponds with the Rolex 24, which is a 24-hour race at Daytona Motor Speedway. So there's a group down in New York State that's been doing this for 16 years now. So they've actually moved it over to Facebook so people can join on Facebook. Last year we had, I think, close to 200 people participating in this thing, which is nuts, right? And so they run a Zoom call for the whole 24 hours. So you can pop in and out of the Zoom call and stuff. And, you can join the Facebook group without even participating. You can just join it just for the sake of wanting to spectate it. I'll throw the link into the chat here. So it's fun. There's really no rules. It's not even a competition, right? It's just let's just do it for fun. And so you pick something you think you can finish in 24 hours, and away you go. So it was a lot of fun last year. I met a lot of new people, and it was great. Yeah, it was really great. So
what's the date?
The 29th and 30th.
I think Bill's doing it too, aren't you, Bill?
Yeah, I did it last year and I'm doing it again this year.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
had a
just
blast.
watching. I'm just a lurker. I'm just watching everybody getting in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
29th and 30th.
you can come and be a voyeur if you want. Yeah. So
Yeah.
A lot of interesting kits. Some people being a lot of cars. Some people being very ambitious.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm trying a car this year.
wow.
Last year I did the Bandai, so
someone's doing a 1/16 Panzer I.
That's crazy. But
Well, someone's doing your Caspian Sea Monster.
that would be Dave.
That would be me. I'm building the Caspian Sea Monster 1/144 scale. So
yeah, there's the one I'm doing. The
Which one?
Mini.
The mini.
Mini.
Right. That one there?
Yeah, the Airfix Mini.
oh, that's right, because I posted a sarcastic thing about
Yeah, make it so. Yeah.
Yeah, you always post sarcastic things on my.
Yeah, look at this. Look.
me. Sarcasm? Yeah, there I am. Look on the right, you can see it.
Yeah, two of them he's got there.
Yeah.
Little
Like that.
sarcastic remarks. Yeah, all sorts of neat things. It's actually a lot of fun. People do a lot. This one will be interesting. I've got this one in the stash. Again,
Oh yeah.
Is that the new one or an old one?
that's a slightly older mold, if I recall. This is the Tamiya 48 scale one.
It's a nice kit.
Yeah. So yeah, all sorts, but definitely check out the group. I love this one because I remember seeing this when I was a kid and I so much wanted that kit and I never did get it. So this is Dave Walker from Huntsville. The 132nd Porsche 917 was aftermarket. So yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Evan Jones has posted something too, I think.
yeah,
he's
this
doing
is
a
Evan
comment
here.
as well.
Yeah, he's posted for Dave.
Yeah, he's also posted one for himself there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. So lots of good things. Yeah, no, it's a good thing to follow. We mentioned it on the podcast. So all sorts of good ideas, and it'll be fun to see what people come up with. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that really stands out. Like, what the hell are you thinking?
I love that
there's a guy-
Thunderbird.
There's a guy who's trying to get his workshop done first. He's hoping to get
Yeah.
it done.
Yeah, I feel for this guy.
Yeah,
Somebody
Michael.
posted today they're doing a 1/20th scale Studio 27 F1 car.
Are they? Hang on.
Yeah, so it's like the guy just posted it. There it is.
There
There.
it is. Holy shit.
Oh, you see, I posted a sarcastic comment on that one too. Can you
Yeah,
believe it?
gee, I'm surprised. Shocked I am, Dave. Shocked. This is like a real mixed media kit too, isn't it? It's all like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think there's any plastic in the damn thing. It's all resin and white
Yeah,
metal.
it's all resin and white metal and photo etch, and the rims are actually turned aluminum, and the wheels are like vulcanized rubber. Like these kits run for like 250 bucks
Yeah.
US.
Yeah, big bucks. You're the only one that's commented so far on the guy. So yeah, so definitely, yeah, no, that was a good point, Dave. Definitely check that one out. It's good fun.
Yeah.
Again, creative heckling's more than welcome. So
it forces you to build quickly, not overthink things.
right.
Yeah, the joke is build like you're 12 years old again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you all went to the hobby shop on Saturday morning and you stopped for lunch and then you came home and built the hell out of it and blew it up by Saturday night.
There you go.
Yeah, and you
I
gotta.
had to wait till after 2 on Sunday.
Yeah. So the other thing I was going to mention, I'm sure some of you who are like Airfix or build the aircraft stuff, Airfix announced their new line. A lot of companies announcing their products for this year. We've been talking about it on the podcast. So a lot of interesting stuff there from various companies. So if you like big ass Spitfires, they've released a Spitfire Mark 9 in 1/24th, all new tooling. So
Wow.
Look, Bandai
They've
had already
announced, they
announced
haven't
the
released
only
it
kit
yet.
that matters this year.
yeah,
The RG God Gundam.
Yeah, I saw, you know what? I got an email from someone. Let me find that. Hang on. I got an email from a distributor in the States and he gave me some of the schedule. And Bandai and Hasegawa, they've got a lot of Valkyries coming out this month and next. Yeah, hang on, let me find it here. Here we go. Trevor, Bandai Q2 releases.
I was gonna say it's the Airfix Anson I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the Anson, I figured you would be. after the nice work you did on the Chipmunk.
I'm not Chipmunk. That's
Oh,
Mr.
no,
Hagen.
that's right. That was Greg. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. Let me just find it here. Sorry, bear with me, gentlemen.
Hey, Duncan, how's that flying boat coming for the Newfoundland Air Force?
You mean my Tarzan boy airplane?
Yeah.
Tarzan boy.
Well, isn't that what he is? A Tarzan boy or
He's
adventure boy?
He's Future Boy Conan.
Oh,
Oh, him too.
love Future
Yeah.
Boy Conan.
Yeah. I'm just trying to decide how I want to paint it and what I want to call it because I'm not into the adventure boy thing, but I was thinking of giving it a Newfoundland edge. They had a full article on the Vintage Wing site a while back that the Newfoundland Air Force back in the war had their own roundel, and it was a roundel with a pine tree in it instead of a dot. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to have those kind of markings on it, but trying to come up for a name with it. But I got depth charges for it and Rado packs from Tamiya's 262 that I fitted to the side of the thing. So, and I made a little dolly for it too.
Nice.
So
Hey, here's some of the, so I got this from a distributor in the States that is going to be, says, very encouraging. We're going to try and get them on the show. Very encouraging material coming down the pipeline. 26 Star Wars, 58 master grades, 27 real grades, and 1 perfect grade. And I'm just going to share my screen one more time. So yeah, this was directed to the distributor. So there's definitely, this is, so an entry grade 1 to 1/4 Gundam. Rob, feel free to speak up and correct me on any of this. The RG 1 to 1/4 God Gundam.
Yep.
There's the one you were doing, I believe.
Yep, the Gallantmon, Dukemon.
Yeah, Gallantmon. How about the Exploring Lab, Nature Great White Shark?
Great for kids.
Gimmicks and mouth opening features. Yeah, we had one we covered in the podcast. They have a mastodon, like a woolly mammoth, that changes color in the fridge.
Oh, geez.
And then he sent me a spreadsheet, but it's really kind of a mess one. He just mentioned a perfect grade here, 1 to 60th W-Gundam 0 custom. Is that going to be fairly huge, I take it, Rob?
No, the Wing Gundams are actually rather small,
Okay.
but that might be a re-release,
All right.
and I would avoid that kit if you don't want to deal with tiny feathers,
Okay.
because it has 2 angel wings.
Right.
Each feather is an individual piece.
That sucks. So what were
Talk
you
about
excited?
over-engineered.
What else were you excited about?
No,
Just the God Gundam.
God one, okay. The one we
Because a
talked
lot of
about.
these new Gundams already out for the real
Yeah.
grade.
Yes,
A lot of these look like they're already out. They're just kind of
re-releases. I think.
re-releases.
Yeah.
I believe, because I don't see any of the figurized stuff. This is all just the Gundams and Star Wars.
Yeah, this is Gundam. That's all he sent me. So
now, is Bandai coming out with a larger scale of the Razor Crest? Did I hear?
No,
same
No?
scale.
Okay.
no, they're just doing the little one. So there's a 72nd scale one from Revell, Germany, and AMT's doing one as well through like round 2. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what, there's been a lot of talk for and against the Revell one, Revell's molding of the Razor Quest. You get Star Wars fanboys and model fanboys, and but again, it'll be interesting to see once the Bandai comes out, how it compares. Now, again, I love Bandai. Like, I'm building their 148 Scout Walker right now, and it's just an absolute gem of a kit, literally shake and bake. So, but yeah, no, we'll be covering that in the podcast eventually. All right.
Anyway,
anything else from anyone else before
Just a quick note, Stuart.
Yes, sir.
Some of you may have seen, I put some books up on the IPMS London Facebook page. They've all been sold, raised $210 that has been donated to the London Food Bank.
Awesome.
So those who bought books, thank you very much. Might do it again.
Cool.
I got lots of books I want to get rid of.
All right.
Very nice. Very nice. And I'm sure
Nice job.
The food bank appreciates that as well. They do awesome work. So exactly. So, all right. Well, unless anyone else has anything else, I'm going to formally stop the recording and we'll just turn this into the regular build night. As always, we appreciate your ongoing support showing up. And like I said, hopefully one day sooner rather than later, we'll all be meeting in person. It might be at Heritage Con, but I'll definitely be there. And I think Jeff's going to be there and a few other people, most of us, I'm sure. We're all kind of looking forward to a show and seeing some amazing stuff. So, all right, let me stop the recording.